John Cosby presents himself to the world as a mountain farmer from Mount Lunan, but his entry into the Lane family through a contract marriage to Tessa is no accident. He is the hidden piece in a much larger puzzle, arriving just as the Lanes face their most dangerous internal threat. Tessa is currently under siege by her cousin Nancy, who has traded her family's loyalty for an alliance with the Walkers, the most powerful dynasty in the city. The Walkers lead with corporate extortion. They demand Tessa surrender her shares in Horizon Corp, threatening to use their vast market influence to ruin the Lane family financially if she refuses to comply. When Tessa refuses to break, the Walkers abandon the boardroom. In Justin City, the hierarchy of power ends with the martial arts elite. Kevin Walker moves to the top of this pyramid, deploying a grandmaster to achieve through violence what he couldn't through a contract. John instantly drops his humble facade as the grandmaster violently strikes. John intercepts the blow with a precision that neutralizes the threat in a single motion, revealing a hidden mastery that contradicts his rural background. This defense shatters the Walkers' perceived invulnerability. By defeating their highest-level enforcer, John has forced a corporate dispute into a direct war with the city's ruling syndicate. The Walkers respond by weaponizing the city's economy. They issue a citywide blacklist, forcing every major bank and supplier to sever ties with the Lanes or face the syndicate's wrath themselves. A violent collapse of Lane family stock. Within hours, the family faces total insolvency. John counters by securing rival capital from the White family. This support acts as a physical pillar on the chart, catching the stock and forcing a market reversal. The influx of capital effectively breaks the Walker family's monopoly. John proves their financial dominance relies entirely on opponents staying isolated. With the economic threat stabilized, John moves to physical containment. He seizes Kevin Walker as leverage, forcing the syndicate leadership to step out from behind their corporate shell companies. The Walkers' empire is built on the illusion of absolute control. That illusion fails when they encounter an opponent who ignores their wealth and dictates the terms of the engagement. During a tense interrogation of Keith Walker, the patriarch's mask of elite indifference slips. As John applies pressure, the man responsible for the city's corruption begins to break. Keith reveals a 20-year-old conspiracy. The Walkers were merely proxy assassins, used to dismantle the Yates family, John's true parents, to clear the path for a much higher power. That power is Lord Damon Jensen. He is the apex predator of the city's underground, and the man who orchestrated the Yates massacre to steal their hidden techniques. Fearing John's rapidly growing strength, the Walker family violently summons Lord Damon to finish what he started 2 decades ago. Damon targets the Lanes directly, bypassing John to infect the family patriarch with the D. Vitalis toxin, a lethal poison engineered to have no medical antidote. John absorbs the D. Vitalis poison into his own system to shield the Lanes. The corporate dispute mutates into a race against biological failure, with his nervous system acting as a human filter for the corrosive toxin. The narrative has moved beyond a simple struggle for survival. This is now a supernatural blood feud, where the enemy has successfully neutralized the hero before the final battle even begins. The D. Vitalis toxin requires a specific biological catalyst to neutralize, an interaction with a body matching the exact lunar and thermal conditions of Tessa's birth. Her genetic profile acts as the only stabilizer capable of bonding with the poison in John's blood. This stabilization process does more than just clear the toxin. The collision between the poison's corrosive energy and the stabilizer forces John's nervous system to adapt to the high-pressure stimulus, flushing out years of physical limitations in a single surge. This forced adaptation pushes John into the God tier, a state of mastery where his physical output exceeds the limits of human biology. It is a breakthrough Damon Jensen has spent 10 years failing to achieve. With his potential fully unlocked, John confronts Damon Jensen to end the 20-year conflict. Damon attempts to use the combat formations he stole from the Yates family. However, his rigid techniques cannot withstand the kinetic energy of a God-tier opponent. John's power shatters Damon's defensive barrier on impact. John's strike ends Damon's 10-year rise to power, finally avenging the Yates family and dismantling the Walker proxy state that has ruled the city for decades. The Walkers relied on stolen wealth and hijacked legacies to maintain their influence. In the end, their entire structure was dismantled by an opponent whose strength was forged through sacrifice and a commitment to his found family.